Welcome to the YouTube channel from Stazza Stable Academy. My name is John Starrett, aka the world famous Stablemaster. I'm an Olympic running coach. I've been coaching for over 40 years, beginners through elites. Many of you will know me from my globally acclaimed chart-topping podcast, The Stablemaster Speaks. For those of you who don't know me from there or don't know me at all, I'll give you a little bit of background information. So the podcast has been going for about 5 years now, and it's basically a 30-minute monologue, a little bit about my life and my travels. I have a colourful life, and also mainly it's hard-hitting, fast-talking training chat to help listeners, which is done over the years. So why not a podcast, or why a YouTube channel? Lots of people have been asking me to do a YouTube channel, but I didn't want to do something that everybody else is doing, and I'm a little bit shy, as you might guess. So, especially in front of the camera. But something really strange happened a couple of days ago, and it transformed everything. Now, I didn't want to do a YouTube channel like all the run influencers. Heavens forbid, that's the last thing in the world I want to do. I wanted to do something a little bit different. And what happened is that, I suppose, last Tuesday, which is probably nearly a week ago, it was Buddha Day here in Thailand. I'm fortunate enough to live in the land of smiles, not too far outside Pattaya, pretty close to Bangkok too. And it was Buddha Day, which is a religious festival, which means you can't buy alcohol. So my girlfriend Nuch, whom you'll meet, and I'll talk about in a minute, she forgot to buy wine. Now, what normally happens is when I finish my calls at 9 o'clock at night, my coaching calls that is, I'll normally have a few glasses of wine, and sometimes I'll go out for dinner on the weekends. I like a little bit of fine dining. I'm a little bit portly, which we're going to talk about as well in a minute. So she forgot to get the wine. Anyway, the next day I got up in the morning and everything was clear, lots of thoughts zooming around in my head, and I was kind of thinking to myself, you know what, in terms of my health, it would probably be a good idea if I stopped drinking. And at that moment, as I was thinking that, like a bolt of lightning, Zeus appeared before me and spoke to me. And he said, John, it's time for the big change. So I said to him, what do you mean, Zeus? And he said, John, you know, you've been thinking about it for a while. We're going to do this. So I said to him, what are we going to do, Zeus? Very straightforward. He says, if you want to live to 180 years of age, you've got to do what I say. So I thought, okay, that's a fair deal. And he said, if you do what I say, when you sit beside me, when you're gone, you'll be able to drink all the Sancerre, all the Amarone, eat all the beautiful Thai food and fine dining that you want. You'll have nymphs singing in your ears. Actually, maybe not. That's not a good idea. Nuch wouldn't like that. But you get the gist of it. So he said, this is what we're going to do. He said, you're world famous as a running coach. You started coaching online in 2017. And since then, you've coached nearly 900 people to sub-3 marathons, over 250 people to sub-2:30 marathons. You've helped beginners to elites alike. In the last 3 US Olympic marathon trials, you've had male and female athletes. And more recently, in terms of Olympic success, you coached Aoife Cook, a club athlete who had a PB of 2:46, 2:47, and in 10 months you took her to 2:32 in the Irish national champion. And then after that, you got her qualified for the Olympics in Japan, and she's currently the 5th fastest female runner of all time in Ireland. He says, that's all great. He says, but you're always giving it the large and saying anybody who's reasonably fit can run a sub-3 marathon. I said, yeah, well, I believe that. He says, well, now you're going to prove it. And I said, what do you mean I'm going to prove it? I've proved it already nearly 900 times. In fact, more than 900 if you count all the other guys and girls or women. And he said, no, you're going to prove it on yourself. I said, whoa, hold on, Zeusy, baby. I'm not so sure that's a good idea. I said, I'm 61 years of age. I haven't ran in 5 or 6 years. My racing weight's round about 57, 58 kilograms. And last year I was 90 kilograms. Granted, I've come down in weight substantially, since then, but there's no way I can do that. And he said to me, and you're also forgetting a few other things why it's going to be a challenge. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you're smoking 30 cigarettes a day. You moved to Thailand 2 years ago and you started smoking, which was a really stupid thing, especially with your addictive personality. Like most runners, I've got an addictive personality too. So he said, we've got to get rid of the cigarettes, we've got to get the weight down, so we can no more fine dining, you've got to go on the Stazza nutrition plan. And he said, you've got to start exercising because you haven't done anything in years. And I said, well, that's the big problem. I mean, how can I suddenly go from where I am now to running? And then I've thought about it. And he said, I'll leave you with your thoughts. You'll work it out. So he shot off. And I was standing there looking at the mirror, like I would do every morning. And it's quite a nice sort of view, really. And I was thinking to myself, do you know what? This could be really good. I've got to sort my life out, basically. Yes, it's great from a coaching point of view. I'm living here in the sunshine in Thailand. I sit on the computer from 8 o'clock in the morning on Final Surge, doing comments on people's runs and then doing calls from 2 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night every day. And that's quite a nice life, you know, it's nice and chilled and relaxed. We've got a nice environment here, swimming pool, we've got a pool table in the house, we have lots of fun, and it's kind of the perfect life. But I felt recently that something's missing. And the bottom line of this as well, so full transparency, I hate running. I wasn't a particularly good runner, probably average, so my PBs were, when I was younger, 3:57 for 1500, 8:35 for 3000, 14:57 for 5,000, 31:17-ish I think for 10k, and 68 something for the half marathon. And that was based off the back of 1500 metre training for 3 months. So the people who follow the podcast, they know all of this already, but I'm just giving some exposition for new listeners or viewers. And what I would do when I ran, I would run for 3 or 4 months and then stop for 6 months and then box or play rugby or football. I found that more interesting, but I always kept getting drawn back to the training. And over the 40 years or so, I've been coaching more in the traditional way down at the track side. So I thought this could be quite interesting. If I can run a sub 3 hour marathon, I'm 61 now, I'm 81 kilos, smoking 30 cigarettes a day, drinking too much, way too much, and too often. My diet's pretty poor, and there are other challenges as well, because in Thailand, it's like every day it's 30 plus degrees, the dew point's 30 plus as well, so we're talking nearly 100% humidity. And for a fat lad like myself, that's going to be a massive challenge. And again, I've not done any exercise. And around here where I live, it's not safe to run, even walk. Like the pavements are all broken and crumbled. It's like wacky races out there on the road with everybody on scooters. And also because I'm older now, I'm not so spatially aware. But I thought to myself, I can do this. It will make it interesting. It's going to make an interesting YouTube channel. I can, as well as showing the story about getting down to sub 3, which I'm going to come back to because I'm going to contradict myself in a minute, because I'm going to do that right now. I'm not going to go for a sub 3. I'm going to go for a 2:45, because I think if I can get back into running and get sort of into the shape that I can run a sub 3, it means I can run a sub 2:45 as well. Plus, I don't want to blemish my record with a 2:59.59. So with the previous PBs I've got, I'd like to have a sub 2:45. And I think that makes it more of an interesting challenge as well. Again, the other factors that we've got to look at here are the injury risks. They're huge, because right now, like both my TFLs are on fire, my medial collateral ligaments are playing up, my glutes are weak, and I bought a Garmin watch to do the YouTube channel, and it's telling me I'm nearly dead, and I think my VO2 max is about -30, so there's a lot of work to do. But what this is not going to be, this is definitely not going to be a YouTube channel about VO2 max, threshold, zone training, Norwegian doubles, triples, quadruples, and all that malarkey. I want to make it interesting. I want to make it about my life and my journey, and hopefully it'll inspire people. Or I fall flat on my face, which is possible as well, but I'm a winner sometimes. So we'll see. So how I envisage this sort of moving forward is that I plan to do 2 posts a week. On the weekend, it will be talking about the training and an overview of what's happened in the week in terms of the weight loss, the smoking, the drinking, the diet, and how the running is going once I eventually get running, because of course I can't start running just yet. So, and then on the midweek, it will probably be more like a bit of the fun stuff, the ups and downs about life here in Thailand. So you'll see Nuch and me like doing the cooking and having a laugh, us playing pool in the evening, swimming, and me trying to do some strength and conditioning work as well, which I definitely need to do. So the story is basically going to be centered around 4 people. Myself, the protagonist, the old, deluded, decrepit man. My girlfriend, Nuch, who's the funniest person I've ever met in my life. Stunningly beautiful, really witty, really clever. She's everything, perfect. And she's the love anchor in this. Now, she's a little bit worried about me because she Yes, she wants me to stop drinking and stop smoking and get a little bit fitter, but she's worried about me running. She thinks I might have a heart attack. Plus, she likes me a little bit pompui, which is Thai for fat, or podgy, or blamongi, so which I am at the moment. And you can see that because I did a little weigh-in before, it was on Saturday there, just to check out everything, to see where my weight was, which was 80.8 kilograms. But she's worried, she likes to cuddle me, and she says I've got lovely soft Farang skin. Farang means foreigner. She doesn't want me to lose a load of weight and look really old. She says I look very, really young at the moment. And so do a lot of people. So, but there we go. I don't know. I don't care about these sort of things. I'm not particularly vain. Also, what will be interesting through this YouTube channel, which is going to be different to lots of other ones, I'm not going to edit the stuff when I'm talking. There's no editing at all. You'll probably realise this already. I've made mistakes. I do that in my podcast as well. All mistakes stay in. It's not scripted. It's just a monologue. However, we will edit the sort of midweek podcasts, or not podcasts, the episodes, with the videos and things like that, to try to make it a little bit more interesting and fun. But bear with us, because as we move forward on this journey, we're going to be learning on the technical side as well. So going back to the story, so we've got Nuch, who's a love anchor, and then we've got the CEO of the Stazza Stable Academy, my brother Phil Starrett, former director of Adobe, used to run the Middle East for them. He's now the CEO of Stazza Stable, or the Stazza Stable Academy. And then my big friend Akash, who is the owner and founder of a global transformation business called RNT Fitness. You may have seen the YouTube video that I did with him out in Kenya, sitting over the Rift Valley. It's a 90-minute video that gives a kind of meta view of my philosophy and my coaching methods. If you haven't, you can look at it at RNT Fitness. It's 90 minutes. I think it's had over 130,000 views. It's also on my channel here, I think, with about 6,000 views, but it will give you a good idea what I'm all about from a coaching point of view, and you'll learn things as well. So that's kind of the gist of the story, but let's just spin back to Akash for a moment, okay? So Akash outwardly will be definitely be supportive, but inwardly he'll be skeptical and doubtful, as will my brother Phil, and probably Nuch too. I don't think anybody believes in me apart from me. So again, this is going to be a different type of YouTube running channel. And I say running in inverted commas, we've got to get running first of all. But just to give you the update on where I am right now. So on Sunday night, I went to Castel Bellagio, some fine dining, one of the best restaurants in Thailand. Had really expensive wine, got drunk, and woke up on Monday with a hangover. Couldn't stop smoking. Day one of stopping smoking, I couldn't do it. I smoked about 25 cigarettes. Had a hangover all day. But what I did do is I got up at 5 a.m. and went for a walk. Now, Nuch drove down to a park called Nong Pru Park, where everything's going to be done. It's 600 metres around a lake, and it's the only place that I can run. Pancake flat, loads of Thai people and Farang out there walking and jogging and cycling and things like that. So it's a nice little venue. So when I build up and I'm doing the marathon training and stuff, it's all going to be around a 600 metre pancake flat little park road. And you'll see clips of that as we move forward too. So there's a bit of a challenge there in terms of the location. But I don't want this to be like a boring running channel. It's going to be a bit of a laugh as we go along. Now, I don't want to become a run influencer or anything like that, but if you want to like the channel, share it and subscribe and all that sort of stuff, that's great, because we're going to be giving away great prizes. As the listeners to the Stablemaster Speaks podcast know, like we've given away 2 trips to the Caribbean, 2 2-week trips to the Caribbean, 3 2-week trips to Mauritius, and every couple of months I give away 2 pairs of super shoes. It's going to be very similar here. Also, on top of that, what we'll be doing, if you're subscribing, you'll be getting newsletters and all sorts of little perks and information about training, strength and conditioning, nutrition, all of those freebie giveaways and stuff like that. So anyway, welcome to the Stablemaster's last race. So what's the plan for the Stablemaster's last race? Okay, I've started off this week by walking for 35 minutes each day. My legs are aching a little bit. I know that I've lost a little bit of weight, but the truth and the source of soul truth will be on Saturday when I do the weigh-in and see how much I've dropped. So the plan is to build up the walking first of all, which is going to be really boring. But then I'm going to follow my own philosophy, which is the pre-foundation, the foundation, the pre-super base, the super base, bridge training, then specific training. Now, originally when Zeus spoke to me and I listened, he said I had to do it before I was 65. And I thought, okay, that's reasonable, gives me enough time. But I thought about it in a little bit more detail. And after having done a few walks, I did a little test to see if I still had my running stride or if I've got the old man shuffle stride. And to my amazement, I've still got a half decent running stride. So I'm thinking I could do this a little bit quicker. So the goal is now not wait until I'm 65 and pushing it way out there, is to do it by the end of next year, by the end of 2027. Where I'm going to do that, I don't know. In the meantime, I will do some races. Once I get up and I get through the super base, I'll probably race a half marathon or a 10K. It definitely won't be in Thailand because it's too hot and humid. It'll be somewhere cool and pancake flat. Not that I've got an ego and I'm worried about times or anything like that. So that's kind of the gist of things. As we go through, I'll explain a little bit about the foundation, the pre-super base, bridge training, and the marathon specific training, but not in too much detail because that's already all on the podcast, The Stablemaster Speaks. So anyway, welcome to the YouTube channel, The Stablemaster's Last Race. It's going to be a bumpy ride. You'll see everything, the ups, the downs, the laughing, the crying. You'll also see us travelling around. We travelled quite a bit around Thailand as well, to the different islands and things, so it should be interesting. It won't be boring, me just sitting here like this with the pool in the background and the palm trees to make everybody envious who's sitting right now in the cold and the wind and the rain and the snow, or out in Southeast Asia in the heat and humidity. They know what it's all about. So anyway, that's a wrap. So the next one will be out on the weekend on Saturday. So stay tuned. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and also keep an eye out for Stazza's _stable Instagram, because I'll be posting clips on there. And you can follow me on Facebook as well. I think I'm on there as John Starrett or Coach Starrett. I'm on Strava as Coach Starrett, and we have a group on there where you can see all of the success that everybody does called Stazza's Stable. Okay, thank you for watching. Take care and stay safe out there, kids.